Hey, what is up, my beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of This Feels Personal, the podcast where we talk the good, the bad, and the messy in between. I'm your host, Ashley Guy, serving you truth, side-eye, and unsolicited advice. And today, my peeps, I'm here to tell you your inner child is getting tired of your shit. I mean, it is what it is. You know, that little version of you, the one that seems to make an appearance when you're embarrassed or things are getting messy and you're getting frustrated. Yeah. They're exhausted. They're the part of you that reacts before you even know what's happening. And sometimes they're running the show and you don't even notice. So we're going to talk about parenting yourself while trying to parent others. And when I say others, that could be your kids, your team, your family, anybody you're responsible for. I mean, there's times when that voice from your past is sitting in the back seat, just side-eyeing every decision you make. Trust me, it's likely they're not impressed. But let's talk about it. Oh, Jesus, be offense today. Because little you is still here. And I know that is hard to accept sometimes. Because I tell you, I speak from experience. That's all I got to speak on. Little you is still here. Loud, emotional, and sometimes embarrassing. And they have opinions about how adult you is handling things. They show up when you feel unseen, dismissed, or misunderstood. And I mean, if you haven't realized it, they are very much still alive within you. So before we get full-blown deep into this, I want to be clear. When I'm talking about the inner child, and specifically my inner child, very specifically my inner child, I want to be very, 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 very clear about one thing. I have amazing parents. Thank God they're still with me. And I think back then, there's no maybe. I know back then I didn't understand a lot. And now as an adult, I get it. I had good parents, amazing, great, supportive parents. But I do want to point out that even in the best homes, some phrases just stick with you for the rest of your life. Let's get personal. One of the phrases that stuck to me is, you should know better.
Bruh.
Say what now? Yeah. And like I said, I had great parents. So I know now as an adult that they didn't mean it in the way that I took it. Because they're very likely just meant, like, I know what you're capable of. I believe in you. I trust in you so much. But as a child, little me, single digit age me, the way I took it was, you messed up and you disappointed us. And that little voice still pops up today. Years later, I'm knocking on 40, y'all. and it still pops up. You should know better. You should know better. So, unfortunately, little you, I'm sure, because little me has this amazing ability to make mountains out of molehills. Adult you is expected to be rational and calm, but spoiler alert, sometimes that just don't work. It is what it is, honey. I'm sorry if you haven't learned that yet, but let me give you, a hack for your life. Yeah, let me give you a life hack. I like how I was going there, but missed it. Then, yeah, I'm going to edit this out, I'm sure. But let me give you a life hack. That's parenting. That's being human. So, you know how toddlers are basically full-time scientists? I mean, that's Eli right now. And I know years from now he's going to listen to this and be like, Mom. But I got to say it. It needs to be said. Every spill, every meltdown, every tiny push against the rules I have put in place is him testing the waters. And I know it. And in him testing the waters, I feel it in my spirit. It bubbling up. Little me, panic mode. Little me in panic mode. Like a fire alarm going off in my chest sometimes. Bath time. Let's take the cup and pour it out over on the bathroom floor. Yeah. And then I catch myself sometimes slipping up saying, now you know better. You should know better. Now, wait a second, Ashley. You heard that phrase constantly as a child in single digits. I also heard it, as a teenager. But it's the single digits part that I don't really understand as much. And since Eli's still in single digits, that's what I can relate to at the moment. So that's what I'm going to speak to. What exactly is he supposed to know? Why does that phrase come to mind? I mean, is he supposed to know how to not make messes? Is he supposed to know how to control his feelings, maybe? Am I expecting him to be a miniature adult? Yeah, none of that sounds rational at all. At all. It doesn't. Just call him a spade. He hasn't lived long enough to know better. So I don't know why there's an expectation of him to know better. But that's when I realize, when I do think about it, little me is still here whispering and side-eyeing, reminding me what it felt like being a kid, trying to figure it out. Then there's the tantrums. Eli falls to the floor, screaming and crying. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's because the water isn't in the bottle he wanted it to be in. Maybe it's because we're out of the chips that he wants to eat. It's always about the chips. No, it's always about the bananas. The bananas. But little me remembers you're supposed to be good. The kicking and screaming, no ma'am, that's not acceptable. Not to say it's acceptable when he does it either, but little me goes into panic mode. So be good to little me really meant don't embarrass us, don't be loud, and don't cause a scene. But then adult me has to remind little me he's only 2. He doesn't have a good handle on his emotions yet. He's not bad. He's seriously just trying to figure things out. He's a tiny human that is learning boundaries and testing limits. And I have to calm down little me so adult me can actually parent instead of letting frustration take over, and I end up just reacting to the situation. So I can't forget about the fact that testing us is a full-time gig for toddlers.
Bruh.
Eli is really, really feeling this gig too. Eli will look me in the eye and do exactly what I told him not to do. Or I'll tell him, Eli, it's time to get dressed. No. And little me is like, I immediately hear, who you talking to? You don't talk back. But adult me tries to think it through, he's not being disrespectful. He's experimenting. I guess that's that gentle parenting talking. He's figuring out what's safe, what's allowed, where the edges are. And I know adult me, her job is to remain calm and guide him through this stage in his life without overreacting or reacting, period, to be honest. It's like it's like a tiny game of chess every hour of on the hour. But all these little moments that I mentioned, the bath time spills, the tantrums, testing the boundaries, they're teaching moments, not just for him, but for me too. I mean, I am a first-time parent. Eli's my first and only child. So I'm still learning myself. And the only reference I have is how I was brought up. Just how my husband looks at how he was brought up. And we try to balance that because me and my husband were brought up two different ways. So my inner child may show up with panic, frustration, even shame. And is a battle with adult me. And I have to notice it, breathe through it when I can anyway, and have intentional responses to whatever's going on. And just to take a step back and watch the back and forth unfold, it can become kind of hilarious, to be honest with you. You are living out the same frustrations you had as a kid, but now you're trying to do it better because you have grown since then. And quite honestly, and I've realized that's parenting, that's life. And I'm okay with little me side-eyeing and rolling her eyes the older I get. So parenting others while parenting yourself is tiring. You're raising a tiny human, managing relationships, and simultaneously parenting yourself. And some days you'll feel like you failing at everything, all of it. And that's fine. Noticing that your inner child is present, acknowledging them, and choosing how to respond instead of reacting, that, my friends, is growth. That's progress. Even the Bible recognizes this. Matthew 18:3 says, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." Kids are honest, curious, open, and unfortunately as adults, we have to relearn that. And I know, easier said than done. So here's what I want you to take away as I check my notes here. 1, your inner child is still here. She's watching, whispering, rolling her eyes, and sometimes screaming from the back seat. She's tired of your shit. And honestly, other people might be as well. But noticing her and acknowledging her and choosing how to respond instead of reacting, you have to recognize as growth. That's parenting yourself while parenting others. It's messy, it's human, and it's perfectly fun. So, think about one way your inner child has been running the show lately. And one small thing you can do this week to parent her. Keep it real, keep it honest, and remember, she's tired, but she's rooting for you too. Until next time, drink your water, take a walk outside, write in your journal. Yeah, use that prompt to write in your journal this week. Until next time, peace and blessings. Bye.